ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I am one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we have Jordan Peele's new project. Wow, we're off to a great start.
Is Jordan Neal someone?
I don't know.
I don't doubt it.
Anyone?
Sounds like somebody.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone has the name Jordan Neal. I don't know if there's a well-known
I feel like
Jordan Neal.
Is he worth anything though?
Yeah,
In my
exactly.
mind, Jordan Neal is an Olympic snowboarder.
Okay.
I'm creating
So
this character now. I don't know if this is actually true or
Oh,
not.
I was
I'm
like,
just
well, he's
going-
definitely worth somebody then.
Yeah, no, that lines up. That lines up.
I'm basing this entirely off the name that we just created and mispronounced. Jordan Neal is an Olympic snowboarder. He's from America.
I'm going to say he's from the Rocky Mountains.
All right, cool. Blake, come up with a detail about Jordan Neal.
What is Jordan Neal's favorite move to pull off on the slopes?
Holy, that's a great question. I don't know if I know.
You can just make one up. I don't know any snowboarding moves.
Ew. Is a 720 possible?
Sure.
720 is now.
Yeah, it is now. We make the rules.
All right.
Also, on today's episode, we have 2 new trailers and trailer talk. We'll get to the new to streaming. It's a decent list this week, so we'll get to that. We'll get to what we're watching, of course, and our main review for the episode, Snake Eyes. G.I. Joe Origins. That was the original title.
Do you think if it just has origins, is it cursed? Find out later.
Bit of sizzle. Joining me today, of course, it's Nathaniel Gingrich.
Hello.
I gave you guys all your G.I. Joe names. What I think you guys would be in G.I. Joe universe.
Nebula.
What do you do, Nathaniel?
I don't know. I feel like it's like
what's your
I'm like
superpower?
I feel like Nebula would be like a tech guy. Like,
Yeah?
he'd be like
You're in the truck?
yeah, maybe with a bunch of like. I imagine I say ping a lot. You know, I'm getting a big ping or something.
I'm getting so much interference.
Yeah.
Chair.
Yeah. I'm definitely he's a guy in the chair, but you know, I don't know. Maybe he's got some tech armor too. Like he's got to like break it down every now and then.
Do you think he's like Cyborg, where he has like maybe a prosthetic arm that has some cool things that goes on?
Maybe
with
he's got like a. When I was a kid, we came up with a comic book where one of the characters had a CD drive disc in his kneecap that popped out, and you would just load discs into
and now
it. And
you just could play music out of his knee. Was that the only thing?
I don't know. I don't know if he got instructions or something. I think it was like our riff on the Matrix, maybe. Like instead of getting plugged into the back of the head, you got your CD.
You got like a floppy disk that just plugs into the kneecap.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
I love it.
So
all right, Nebby
guy,
Nathaniel, prosthetic arm and disc drive in the knee.
There you go.
Cool. Also joining us today, it's Twist Runner Tyler Vidalis.
I'm just imagining one of those guys doing the competitive street walking in the Olympics or whatever nowadays.
Yeah.
That's a twist runner.
Twist
You
runner.
know how they do their like little hip wiggle thing?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I saw a video of that
strut.
today. That was nuts.
Yeah, how is that an Olympic sport?
I don't know. That's probably hard to say.
Bribery, maybe?
I don't know. Twist Runner Ty, what does Twist Runner Ty do? What kind of superpower are you envisioning here, or cool?
I don't
feature?
I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. G.I. Joes don't typically have superpowers.
I'm not saying
per se.
superpower, but like, what's your cool
your specialty?
Cool, yeah, your specialty.
Why, you're a Joe.
Mm-hmm. You're Joe.
Well, actually, in G.I. Joe, they have those suits that make them run really fast. Was that in 2 or was that in 1?
That's in
I
one.
don't remember.
I have no
So
idea.
yours.
Either way, I would imagine that I can just run really fast.
I think I'm envisioning your suit. It's just extra fast, and you run laps around enemies, and then you create a vortex that like knocks them to the ground.
I mean,
You create a
I
twist.
feel like I want to. Maybe I like it's so hard that it breaks their back. Then
Okay.
you just twist them, and now
There you
they're
go.
just like pretzels.
All right, I
Whoa.
like it. I don't know if that's very
it's
PG.
like the crooked man from
I'll say it's a little
Conqueror,
crap.
too.
a little, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be
I like to
necessarily
tell
in
a
the
story.
next G.I.
Very
Joe.
detailed.
Okay, well, there you have it.
In every murder I have, I tell a story.
And rounding out the G.I. Joe squadron, It's Bladestorm Blake. BlakeHolder.
Big Bladestorm Blake. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah,
So
I think
that makes it seem like I'm on rollerblades.
ooh,
But
That would be
that's not where I
awesome.
went first, but I love it. So Bladestorm Blake, he's on rollerblades.
He's faster than Twisted Runner Tyler.
Well, they're
God,
I think they're arch.
tongue-twister
I think
Tyler.
they're arch rivals.
We could be. I was like, yeah, we could be nemesis.
Okay,
yeah, you
there
guys
you go.
are each other's nemesis.
Which one of you is working for Cobra?
I think
was gonna say we're more like rivals.
Bladestorm Blake kind of sounds like he would work for Cobra more than Twist Runner Ty.
All right.
So I think Blake. I
Yeah.
think you're the bad guy
Sounds
here.
a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, you're on rollerblades. I envision you with like shorter katanas that you yield with the backhanded grip, but then when you strike, they like bring out lightning. There's like lightning strikes.
For reference, he's doing this motion, Blake. He's kind of got him twisted backwards.
Yeah,
in his
your
hands.
the blade
Okay.
goes along your forearm is what I'm envisioning.
You're like
You
a-
get what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I got you.
Yeah, and you're on rollerblades, and then every time you strike, it like creates a lightning strike that
Yeah.
blasts your opponent.
So oddly similar to.
I feel like you're OP as fuck.
That's why he works for Cobra, man.
Meanwhile, I got a disc drive. Like, hold on, guys. Let me put on some quick tunes.
Let me boot up Microsoft Word.
Yeah, that's funny.
Maybe I could download different fighting styles.
Ah,
Like,
okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Like,
that may be your
um,
answer.
But it's just
Like a
really
Taskmaster.
Like I was about to say, like
It's
Taskmaster.
really slow.
Knockoff Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Like, it's still on dial-up.
You're running like an Apple Linda, or like an Apple II. Man, I love it. All right, well, that was a fun intro, I guess. About as good as it gets. But let's get into the news here, ladies and gentlemen. Only one news story for the week. A little bit of a slow news week, but I'm excited to talk about this because it's one I think a lot of us are interested in. Jordan Peele unveils Nope as title of next movie, and he unveiled a movie poster as well with the title, which the article will be linked in the description, listeners, if you want to go to the story and see. I'm sure it would just take a Google search as well. Nathaniel, I can show you here kind of what it looks like. But to describe it to the audio listeners here, there's a cloud in the sky. It looks like it's a balloon. It's got like a tail to it.
Yeah.
Over a isolated city that's lit up. I don't know really how to describe it. It's like the rural. There's like a rural area with some mountains in the background. In the valley,
it
is
looks
like
like
an urban
Kanye
city.
West's Wyoming album
Yeah,
cover.
okay.
But there's just a bunch of lights, like it's Vegas or something out there, and then that's in the back or the distance, and then kind of in the foreground, higher up on the actual poster itself, is some sort of singular floating cloud.
Yeah, it's a cloud below all the other clouds with like a where
Looks like a kite string.
like a kite string almost, like it's a balloon, like the cloud's a balloon kind of. Hard to describe, listeners. If you want to go see it, I'm sure, like I said, probably just a Google search away. Set to release July 22nd, 2022.
bummer.
So 7/22/22. Yep. Set to star Keke Palmer, Stephen Yeun, Barbara Ferrari, Brandon Perea, and Michael Wincott, and also starring
Michael Wincott. Whoa.
Yeah,
There's
also
a name.
starring the reunion between the two, Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, cool.
So I like that cast.
Okay.
I think that's a solid cast, and obviously, I think we're all pretty big fans of what Jordan Peele has done, especially with Get Out and to maybe a lesser extent Us.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what Candyman turns out to as he's on to produce that. But I'm definitely excited for this.
Yeah, I'll watch anything he's doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think we've already kind of gone on to say that. So, does anybody have any idea what this is about?
There's no description yet or anything like that.
Okay.
That he's just
trying to read
released the
up on it.
title and the movie poster and the release date. So he's back with
All right.
Universal. He has a 5-year deal with them, which started in October of 2019. So he will be with them for the foreseeable future, it looks like. But yeah, we'll have to stay tuned. I can't imagine, us not reviewing this when it comes out in just under a year from now. So we'll
Yeah,
have to
for
wait a
sure.
while, but I hope I think it'll be worth the wait.
Adam, I'm going to
Definitely.
pause this recording right here for 1 second, or
Okay.
like at least tell you to. I'm going to disconnect my VPN because then I think we might stop getting that delay a little bit.
Okay.
Now disrecording.
Now unrecording. All right, we're back, listeners. Thank you for
Brief
not
pause.
taking a pause. I mean, it was only a split second for you.
Station identification.
I think that's actually 3 episodes in a row where we had a pause. I'm pretty sure we had one. We had one because Blake disconnected in the Entropy List episode. We had one last week because we were like, all right, let's regroup before we do the review. And now here we are, a 3rd week in a row with a little pause.
Maybe we should just start including intermissions.
Like Bo Burnham.
Well,
the inventor of the intermission.
Yes, obviously, like Bo Burnham, the inventor of the intermission.
The callback there. Yeah, I mean, maybe if we feel like it's necessary. I'm always. It just takes a little editing, but it's no big deal for the listener. All right, well that's it for the news. We'll get on in here to trailer talk. First trailer of the week is the new Dune trailer. It's their official main trailer, is what they're calling it. This is trailer only number 2, I think. We had some teasers, I think, for a little bit. We had one big trailer about 8 months ago, I want to say it was. And then I guess this is probably going to be our final one, I would hope. I really don't want to see much more.
I don't think I'll watch anymore.
Good. Yeah, because this was about 2.5, 3 minutes and showed a lot. I was honestly, this was another one of those trailers I was like, all right, I'm seeing a little too much here. I wish I could see less.
For sure.
And I'm sure this movie's going to be like, I'm sure we could find out the runtime already, but it's going to be like 2.5, 3 hours long, and I'm sure there's way more to it than this trailer reveals. But even then, I was like, there's a lot of this I don't want to see.
Yeah, I didn't love this trailer, I'll be honest.
I also was a little mixed on it. I still have faith in Denny V, but this trailer did not make me more excited for the movie.
I'm genuinely afraid it might be boring.
The movie?
Okay.
Yeah, like I have a weird concern. Like there's so much open space in all these shots. Like,
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Blade
Shots
Runner.
look good though.
Oh no, yeah, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But there just doesn't seem to be very much going on in all of the trailers. It's like a lot of people standing in a room talking to each other, and then like big wide open shots out in the field. You know?
Yeah, it's written by Denny V and John Spites somehow, whatever way you pronounce it. Who looks like he wrote Doctor Strange.
Okay.
And some other
I
stuff.
can get behind that.
The Mummy.
Okay.
The 2017 Mummy.
Never mind.
Yeah.
But that's questionable.
Prometheus. It looks like he helped out on Prometheus. He's got a credit for. So he's all over the place here, I guess. He's all over the place.
Come on, Denny V. Hopefully he'll pull it together.
Hopefully Denny V pulls through. Yeah. I mean, I'm still optimistic. We're obviously going to see this. We're almost definitely going to review it. But you're right. This trailer did not make me more excited, and it made me a tad bit nervous. But I still have faith. I still in Denny V. I still trust.
Trust in Denny V.
Yeah.
Ty?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably right about where I have been this whole time. I'm still excited for it. I think they're kind of doing this on purpose to kind of make you feel like maybe there's nothing that's going to happen because this has been so prolonged for now.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's bound to be action. You got some really good casting going on there. So even if it is not like a ton of crazy stuff, I have a feeling you're going to get some really good dialogue between a lot of good people and some really good writing. So I'm still pretty excited for it regardless.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm with Ty, man. You guys know I'm high on Denny V, and I think the trailer's done well. I don't think they showed too much because I still can't really put together what's going on. I do think there'll be a decent amount of action. You'd assume if it even. I know you guys, or I know Adam hasn't seen Sicario, but even if it comes like close to something that Denny V can still do action very good, as you've seen in Blade Runner and in Sicario. Right, so even if they have some of those sequences in there, as well as the storytelling of like an arrival and things of that nature, I mean, I honestly think this movie is going to be a home run. But
I'm with you.
Who knows? People thought Tenet was going to be a home run, right? And we kind of went in here and shitted on that one. So it is possible. But I'm super excited for this.
Do you guys trust Denny V more than Christopher Nolan?
Oh, big call.
That's tough.
Because they're both heavy hitters. They're both people who really haven't missed all that much.
That's it at this point, maybe.
That's a good question, man. I don't know. I think personally, I would probably lean towards Denny V.
Yeah.
Let's say you had a movie and you were picking a director, and it's one of those two. Who are you picking?
Denny V at this point.
Honestly, I might be the same.
Denny V.
But I think so.
Wow.
which is
Everyone agrees.
shocking.
That's a big statement, fellas.
That is a big statement because Christopher Nolan is obviously so good and has been for a while. Tenet being really the only thing I feel like he's missed a little bit on. Thinking back to it, I mean, I can't think of anything else for that I've seen of his because I haven't seen his entire catalog, but I feel like that's probably the only thing I've seen of his where I'm like,
Well, we got Dunkirk is Nolan too, right?
Yes.
This is true.
Yeah. Which is incredible.
So.
Dark Knight, incredible. Inception, incredible. Like, yeah, I just think Denis V. Interstellar. Yeah. Interstellar is just...
It's close, man. It's hard. It's a hard decision now when you start like listing the movies aloud.
I know. I think Christopher Nolan has probably proven himself, obviously, more just because he's had more... I think he's been around longer and had more opportunities to do so. I think Denis V will continue to prove himself to the same
he's
caliber.
the younger hand at this point, isn't he?
Exactly.
Even though I'm sure they're probably around the same age.
I would imagine. Yeah. Blake, if Denis V directed a movie that Florence Pugh is in, is it safe to assume that it would shoot to number one on your favorite movie of all time?
It would be close. It would certainly be close.
Okay.
If we got Mekhi Phifer in there.
Yeah. Just the
three. All right, now what are we checking? That's a unanimous number one. Directing Florence Pugh.
Okay.
As a lead. Mekhi Phifer in there as well.
What if I told you that movie...
And it's a horror movie?
Well,
what?
Well, what if I told you Denis V is redirecting Snake Eyes featuring Florence Pugh and Mekhi Phifer? He has to redo the Snake Eyes movie.
I would watch it because it's Denis V, but like, that sounds fucking terrible.
Okay.
It's written by the guy that did American Pickle.
Yeah, but there's the catch. Yeah. Man, that'd be funny. All right, well, let's move on here to our second trailer, which is one that I hadn't really heard of before I saw this trailer pop up. The Last Duel. This is starring it's got a packed list here. Directed
Matt Damon,
by
Ben Affleck, Jodie Comer. Directed by Ridley Scott. Written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Who else is in the cast? Tell me more.
Martin Sokas, Harriet Walter.
There's going to be a guy with like Bogdan Blavonovich or something like that. He's got to have a crazy Russian name that I know him, but he's a really good actor too. I'm
looking. I don't really see him.
I'll find it.
Oh, Sam Hazeldine?
Nope, not that guy.
I see him. Zeligo Ivanek?
I think so.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Who is that, Nathaniel?
He's like, you've seen him. You'll have like, as soon as you click on it, you'll be like, I know that guy from so many movies. But he's
let me see here.
I think he
has 110 acting credits.
Yeah, he's a well-known character actor. He's on like
he's in Argo.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
The
been
Bourne
on
Legacy
episodes of House. He's been on House of Cards. I'm pretty sure he like almost always plays like a government guy.
Yeah, dude, he's been in so much stuff actually.
Gotcha.
You've probably
X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah. What do you guys think of this trailer?
Adam Driver. Yeah, I was gonna say that was the other one that we were just leaving off there. Adam Driver.
Did you not mention him? I thought you did.
No, I did not.
All right. Well, Adam Driver as well. Like I said, I had not really heard much about this. I'll give the IMDb description if you have not watched the trailer yet, listener. It is linked in the description if you want to go check it out. King Charles VI declares that night Jean de Carouge, I think it's de Carouge, Jean de Carouge settle his dispute with his squire by challenging him to a duel. So, this is based on a true story. I'm not sure how closely it follows that, how much detail they have, because this does take place in like medieval times. I don't know the exact year.
What do you think of Matt Damon's haircut?
Oh, wow, wild, right? He looks very different in this movie. I think that's probably intentional to fit him more into the time period. I'm not really on board for it, but I understand why they're doing it.
They've somehow changed the shape of his head.
Yeah, he just looks weird.
He looks beefy now.
Yeah. But
change the shape of his head.
I'm telling you, man, if you took Last Duel Matt Damon and you put him next to Bourne Legacy Matt Damon, his head's a different shape.
I kind of agree. It's like more
fucking bullet.
Oh, yeah, there's.
Well, I'm saying it. The profile now, he looks like Darth Vader is like on the back of his head. Same with Ben Affleck. He's running like the mid-thousands George Clooney look in this too, with the like the Caesar haircut and everything. This has been Hair Talk. Back Row Banter. New segment we're trying out.
Back Barber Banter.
There we go.
I like this trailer though.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. I love Adam Driver, love Matt Damon, love Ben Affleck. I like Ridley Scott. I haven't seen a ton of Ridley Scott, honestly, but I know he's pretty well-renowned, well-regarded. So, and I'm not familiar with the story really at all, which will be fun.
Jodie Comer's been throwing heat on Killing Eve for the last few years now.
I'm not familiar with her. I'm not going to lie.
She's very good.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. And
this for me, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say this for me is like Game of Thrones meets A Knight's Tale.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say too. Is like this looks like A Knight's Tale with the dueling and everything, and the jousting. So I'm very, very down if it's just a more dramatic kind of version of that. I hope it's not just the one duel at the end.
Well, it'd be the last one.
The last duel. Yeah, I hope there's more action than that, but maybe not.
I'm sure there is.
I saw some men's fighting in there too.
Cool.
I think.
Good.
Yeah, I'll definitely check this out. Looks good.
Yeah, I mean it comes out this October.
Looks physically really well shot and beautiful.
Yeah, I think October 15th, somewhere around there. So we could probably end up reviewing this potentially.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
Blake, did you have any October 15th? Yeah. Blake, did you have any thoughts on this?
I'm not too big on the kind of the medieval time period. I guess that's kind of what that is. But we'll see. I like the cast. How can you go wrong with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver? So I'll watch it for sure, but not my favorite era in movies.
Okay.
I should say, but I'll definitely kind of take a look at it.
Yeah.
I know my dad is big on that time period because he watches Vikings. I think we've talked about that briefly on here before.
Yeah, maybe.
And that may actually be a different time period now that I'm thinking aloud. But
same idea.
To me, in my in my timeline brain, oddly similar.
This is the first Matt Damon, Ben Affleck written movie since Good Will Hunting.
Have you seen Good Will Hunting?
I have, yeah. Love Good Will Hunting.
I have not.
Fantastic. You have not?
No.
Ooh, we have some open weeks coming up here soon, so we might maybe slide that in. Because I've also been seeing a lot of Robin Williams appreciation these past few weeks. I think his birthday was like last week or the week before.
Yeah.
And it's just been I've just now have a like hunger to go watch some of his movies again because he's incredible.
It's true.
Yeah. Maybe we slot that in there. Stay tuned, listener. So, yeah, we'll probably keep an eye out, maybe review that when it comes around. I know October is when we did a lot of horror last year. We were planning on doing it again, so maybe we'll work that in, maybe with the double ep that week, something like that. We'll play with it.
Bit of sizzle.
Yeah, and both those trailers are in the description if you want to go check those out, listeners. You can go. Their links are to YouTube. But it's now time for the Adam Schwartz's Completely Subjective new to streaming list for the week of July 25th through the 31st. To Netflix, we are getting The Walking Dead Season 10.
Wow.
Yeah, the wow is right. I think I was thinking about this when I saw this pop up.
Is anyone watching this anymore?
I don't know. They just released the trailer for their final season. Season 11, and then they're done. But I was thinking about this yesterday when this popped up on the new streaming list. I was like, do I go back and rewatch this?
Sure or not, right?
Like, once it's done, maybe when season 11 hits, maybe I just finish it.
The only people I can imagine still watching that show, I just imagine, is just angry people.
Yeah. Or people who have nothing better to do, or just die-hard Robert Kirkman and The Walking Dead comics fans. I mean, they made 11 seasons. They still have to have good ratings for them to justify 11 seasons.
Unless they were just like
nuts.
Had already guaranteed everyone.
Maybe
seasons
that's true.
Something.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
Like, just play out their contracts.
Yeah. Who knows, man?
Hey, real quick, you want to cut this. You guys are coming in a little robotically on my end, so I'm going to try to leave and rejoin. I don't know if you're having the same problem, Ty.
I am not.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to disconnect and rejoin. Let's do it. Let's see if it changes. It wasn't a lot, so it just kind of happened every once in a while.
I mean, I marked the timestamp regardless, so we'll just cut that out.
Snip, snip.
Snip, snip. Like a vasectomy. Okay. Also coming to Netflix.
Jesus.
Well, we're keeping that in now.
Oh, man.
Also to Netflix, Fantastic Fun Guy, narrated by Brie Larson. This documentary looks into the marvel of the world of fungi. Fun little
I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about the vasectomy joke.
You know why?
That was nuts, bro.
And I can tell you
Literally.
exactly. I can tell you exactly why my brain went there. It's because in The Office, when Michael gets a vasectomy because of Jan, he goes, and I've had to go back and forth, snip, snap, snip, snap. So that's kind of just where my brain went.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
tell me about the Marvel fungi.
It's not Marvel fungi. It's just a documentary about mushrooms and fungi, narrated by Brie Larson. I'm fascinated by fungi, and I'm most definitely going to check this out.
Literally my worst nightmare.
Really?
Yeah, the idea of some sort of fungal infection growing inside me.
Yeah. That does
just
terrify me for sure.
My worst nightmare.
But they're also incredibly fascinating to me.
Sure.
They got.
Is this because of The Last of Us? Is this what drove this in you?
You know what?
Broke you?
Probably part of it, but I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast a few years ago, and his guest was a man by the name of Paul Stamets, who is a fungal expert, like the worldwide leading fungal expert. And listening to that 3.5-hour podcast was just incredibly fascinating. Everything he had to say.
Joe
about
Rogan
them.
liked mushrooms because they would send him to outer space.
Yes, that's why. That's definitely why he had him on as a guest. And Paul Stamets definitely talked a lot about psilocybin, but he also he does not just research psilocybin. He just does
He's just
all
a mushroom
fungal,
expert.
just a mushroom expert. And the things he talked about were incredibly fascinating. So that and on top of other things I've heard about mushrooms, wild pieces of nature.
True.
Yeah. So
Not truly alive, right?
I don't know what the definition is. Maybe the documentary tells us.
Could be.
I think they're technically a living organism.
I don't think they are. I don't think they.
Then
Maybe-
what could they be?
I think they're like an in-betweener. Maybe I'm confusing them with viruses.
Are they like a Schrodinger? Yeah, I was going to say, like, are they like a Schrodinger's organism?
Could be. Someone find out about if fungus are living creatures or not.
I would love
Write
to
into
Google
us.
it.
Give us a 5-star review.
Write into us. Let us know. Also coming to Netflix, Myth and Mogul, John DeLorean. This is a BBC co-production docuseries about the automotive visionary.
Yeah, the guy that created the DeLorean.
Yep, and ran that company into the ground.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Also, Outer Banks Season 2. I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with Outer Banks.
My brother watched it.
Yeah? Very popular with females around my age. I've never seen it. Maybe I will watch it. Who knows?
This is your subjective list.
Indeed it is. That's why it's on here. And also coming is The Last Mercenary. This is a new action comedy starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, wow.
It's a French movie.
What?
Yeah. It came out this year, so.
Tyler, when was the last time you saw a Jean-Claude Van Damme film?
The last thing I remember seeing him in, period, would be the Expendables movie.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Didn't you watch JCVD for one of your classes?
Yep. One of my film classes. I believe that week's theme was stardom.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah. You've seen that movie, right?
I've seen clips.
Okay. It's good. I definitely recommend it, actually. I think you'd like it a lot.
What's next on this new?
Sorry, I was taking a little sippy poo. And I definitely just spilled poo. All right. Pause again.
Kid's 21 for a week.
Well, that was fun, listeners.
2. See, you cursed us earlier. That was the thing. You drew attention to it. We had 3 in 3 weeks. Now we've had 3 this episode. And we're only halfway through.
Who knows how many more there might be. All right, let's keep it going here. Amazon Prime has nothing. Hulu is getting The Artist, the Oscar winner from 2011, which I have not seen. Nathaniel, I'm assuming you've probably seen this?
I actually haven't.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I'll check it out. It seems to be one that's like people forget all the time.
Yes.
Best Picture.
Yeah. That was not that controversial, though. I don't remember.
No, it wasn't really that
Yeah.
year. It was kind of funny. But yeah, now looking back on it, I'm sure we could find something in 2011 that's probably had more cultural impact.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
that's the Oscars.
Yeah, there you go. To HBO Max. Well, that's it for Hulu. To HBO Max, Batwoman Season 2. I believe this is the animated show.
No, I think it's the CW show.
Is it the CW show?
Yeah.
Okay, you might be right. I didn't really look into it. I just saw that it was there. I figured maybe a listener or two would be interested.
Other news, they did cast Batgirl this week.
Yes, I saw that. It was, what's her name? I don't remember. Off the top of my head.
I can't remember either. She was the lead or one of the leads in The Heights, though.
Okay, let me. I can do a quick Google search here.
And that's for the upcoming Batgirl movie, I want to say, for HBO / Warner Brothers. Tyler, Phil.
You guys want me to talk about donuts again, or
does Javisha Leslie sound right?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm trying to find out. I don't know, listeners. This is not as easy as I thought this Google search would be, but it looks like that's the latest news I'm seeing here. So I believe so. Moving on. That's it for HBO Max. To Disney Plus, the Jungle Cruise is coming to Premier Access. So if you want to, cough up $30 for that.
Leslie Grace is her name.
Leslie Grace. There you go. That sounds right. Yeah, I knew that first one I read did not sound right. I think that's the CW Batwoman.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Jungle Cruise. If you want to sauce $30 over there, you can go and watch that from
I want to see that.
Your own home. Really?
Yeah, I think I'm going to see it in theaters.
I have no interest in this movie. Absolute zero.
Have you been on the Jungle Cruise ride?
No, I've never been to Disney World except for when I was like 2.
So this is.
Did you say you've never been to the zoo except for when you were 2?
Disney World.
That's still
got it.
Okay.
What?
Also to Disney Plus, Star Wars Bad Batch episode 14. Still cooking along with that, and Garfield, the first live action one. From 2000.
I don't get out of bed except for Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties. So
is that the second one?
Yes, it is.
That one's good. That one's where he goes to London, right?
Wait, I don't know. Is it actually good? Have you seen this?
Yeah, I watched the Garfield movies all the time when I was younger.
Did you like them?
Yeah, when I was younger. I haven't seen them in a while.
I don't think they're good.
Probably not. But when I was 10, sure.
I mean, it's Bill Murray, I guess.
Yeah. Had a good time with
Was
him.
Jennifer Love Hewitt your first crush?
Who's that?
She's the lead in Garfield. Or the
Jennifer
co-lead.
Love Hewitt.
Isn't
Are you
it?
sure?
What's
No, it's a dude, isn't it?
Well, it's his girlfriend. John's the owner, and then his girlfriend Liz is the one that's always coming around.
Liz.
Is this
Yes,
played by Jennifer Love Hewitt?
this looks familiar. No, she was definitely not.
Oh well.
I think my first crush was Selena Gomez when she was on
A
Wizards
fun fact
of
on,
Waverly Place.
Gotcha. And not to intervene with you, just because you brought up Garfield. A fun fact on Garfield is that Garfield is an orange tabby cat, right? That's his breed.
Big Cat Blake.
Yeah, and those are.
Wait, is it? Hang on.
So
I think this is
learned a lot more cat breeds in the past year.
Is this a Big Cat Blake break?
It might be.
I believe it is.
First one in a while.
Yeah,
Maybe.
first one in a long time. So you learn more about this,
but
house
orange
cats?
Tabby cats are much more likely to be male than female. So it's super rare to come across an orange tabby. Tabby are tabby is the coat that has the stripes,
Okay.
like a tiger. So you can see them a gray tabby or something like that as well.
Okay.
But anytime you see an orange one, it's usually a man. Fun fact.
Huh. I wonder if so Garfield's in line with
that's in line. But if
Yes,
I
he
don't,
is.
I could be totally wrong here. I kind of remember Garfield having a love interest in one of these movies.
Yeah, there's a little girl cat that follows him around that is gray.
Is it gray? I thought it was another orange one, but I could be totally wrong.
Oh, maybe in the movies, but in the comic strip, I swear
Okay.
there's a little gray tabby
Okay.
that follows up. That's his niece or
Yeah.
little sister or something. I don't know. That is
Okay.
a girl. So that also falls in line with what Blake was saying too.
All right. The more you know.
Big Cat Blake.
Break. That's it for the new streaming list. Let's get into what we're watching here, guys. I'm going to toss over to BlakeHolder. What was it? What was his name? Blade Storm Blake. What have you watched this week?
Yeah, not a ton here. I had a long weekend.
Too busy rollerblading?
One of my friends, no, I had to help one of my friends move on Saturday.
Ah, man, that's always fun.
Yeah, dude, that took a while. He
Yeah.
lives in the city too.
Well, at least you
So
didn't have to
that's just
pack.
a lot
Packing,
of
I feel like,
waiting on
is
elevators.
the worst.
Right, for sure. So I didn't get to much though. Outside of that, earlier in the week, I did finish the Fair Street trilogy.
Okay.
So I did watch 16
Oh, okay.
and 66. So I know me and Nathaniel kind of wanted to debrief that. I don't know if Ty and Adam plan on watching any of those, or can we just kind of?
I do, but you guys feel free to head into spoilers if you guys want to. You guys want to do a little spoilers talk? You just want to do a non-spoiler talk?
We can. Yeah, it's up to you.
Spoiler talk? Okay. Listeners, if you've not seen Fear Street and don't want it spoiled for you, go ahead and check the episode description where I will leave a timestamp you can jump to. Spoilers.
I'm not reaching over to get it right now.
Yeah, that's cool. That was good enough.
Cool. But yeah, I finished it, and I actually liked the third one, man. I know you said you went in chronological order. Yeah, I think I liked the third one more than the second.
Okay.
I wish they would have used a different actress, I should say, or whatever the correct term is nowadays. Actor for the Sarah Fear character.
Yeah, I did. That was my big thing, is that I really liked the girl so far, but like when she went back there, like everyone's accents was awful. Like that was
I agree with you on that for sure.
Some of the worst accent work I've seen, and that's saying a lot considering what we watched this week. But like it was just that was really rough for me. And then the lore got so complicated. I couldn't figure out what exactly was going on, where, and everything. And then once it got back to when it did 1994 Part 2, I was just like,
you were out of it?
Well, no, it felt like it was almost a different movie. Like people that, like the stakes were different. Where like in the first one, in the original 1994, you got killed by the guys for like doing like anything wrong. Like they were after you. But then like it felt like in the second part, like everyone just had plot armor at that point. And then like it was like that's when like you could start to get away from like all that kind of stuff. And it just, I don't know, it just felt a little out of place. It just didn't nail it for me.
No, I hear you on that.
I still had fun with it.
And that time is definitely difficult. It was really hard to watch it at first and just like not think of the witch. But like you have to turn your brain off. It's not even close to that type of
right. You know what I mean? That's definitely like the feel I felt like they were going for though too, which is a crazy thing.
Yeah. But it was cool. I like it. Within the trilogy, there's a lot of callback. If you're big on horror, there's a lot of callback to different horror scenes, right? In the first one, you kind of have that scene that's very similar to The Shining, right, where he's like, axe. Well, is that the second one?
The first one is definitely called back to The Shining. The second one's definitely
like Friday the
13th.
Yeah, yeah. So so I mean, the opening scene for the first one, as we kind of went on to call back to Scream. There's a scene in the first one where somebody's beating down a door with an axe, and he kind of goes through it.
Full Shining.
The Shining.
Yep.
Second one, a lot of stuff pulled from Friday the 13th. So if you're a fan of horror movies, I think you'd get a kick out of it. It's very horror entry friendly, if that's a word.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's campy, it's gory, it's a good time.
So,
but it's not like mean.
Exactly. And there's different topics on there. The main couple in there is a lesbian couple. Pretty diverse cast, so it's definitely like a modern movie, right? As you can see, they're kind of pushing things. So yeah, it's cool, man. It's something to put on and just kind of watch. So I like that. Jing enjoyed it. I'm sure I'll probably rewatch them eventually, maybe not immediately, but it was definitely cool to kind of get a horror kick out of those. Do you have anything else you want to touch on that?
No, I think for what it was, that ended up being pretty fun and everything. I think the first one just really sold me, and then I think I just the other two didn't quite get up to those heights. So but yeah, no, overall still a really good time. Definitely, I think a little bit of a cut above the other stuff that Netflix has been putting out lately. So definitely worth checking out. And will be super fun in like Halloween, I'm sure, to do kind of maybe a rewatch or something like that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So that's cool to get to that, finish that. Saturday helped my buddy move, so after that we kind of chilled out for a little bit.
All right, we are out of spoilers. Do.
What is that? So yeah, helped him move on Saturday, and then kind of after that we kind of chilled out. Then we went out for some drinks. So in the meantime, we were kind of just relaxing down, chilling. We went on Netflix and we put on Gunpowder Milkshake.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for this.
It's interesting. So that the main character or the main actress in that you're gonna know is Karen Gillan, who has been, funny enough, you brought up Nebula, right, with Nathaniel's name. She played Nebula in the Avengers and the Marvel MCU. She's also done some stuff with Mike Flanagan. So that's kind of like caught my interest at first. And it's like a female assassin, John Wick world type thing.
Yeah, it's Lena Headey too, isn't it? From Game of Thrones. Yeah. And I want to say Michelle Yeoh and then someone else too. Maybe she was in American Horror Story, the 3rd season. God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Keep going, Blake.
Yeah, I can't follow you on that. Angela Bassett's in it as well.
That's who I was trying to think of.
You're referencing of. But yeah, so it was cool, campy, kind of goofy. Some of the writing and lines are a little weird, but I mean, it's a movie meant to be like that, right? Sure.
And stylized.
Aside, so yeah, it was cool for what it was. It was 2 hours, pretty good popcorn movie, some good action, some good fight scenes. Nothing I'd probably rewatch and revisit with high praise, but it was definitely kind of a fun movie to have if you just need something on like in a setting of that nature.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that was kind of most of my watching. Still pushing through the wire. I don't think I got to anything else. Fear Street, Gunpowder Milkshake, and then a masterpiece we call G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. I viewed yesterday with Nathaniel and Adam.
And Waz. Yeah, Waz showing.
Yeah. Why don't you popcorn someone here, Blake?
We'll push it to Adam.
Well, my list is pretty short. And I'm okay with that because I can't get enough of this show. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, put me in the hospital, incubate me, put an IV in my brain and inject Drive to Survive until I die. This show is incredible, and I can't stop watching it. Every single moment of downtime I have, I'm like, let's put it on. Let's put it on. Let's do it.
Have you finished the series at this point?
I just started season 3 last night.
Okay.
But I mean, as you'll remember, I was like halfway done with season 1 last week.
True.
So about a season and a half. And each are 10 episodes, between 30 and 50 minutes per episode. Wow, this show is incredible, and I'm so on board. It's to the point where I'm like, I just want to watch the live races now, so I'm just trying to burn through it so I can just watch 2021 Formula 1.
You actually got a little bit of time because we're going into the winter break or the summer break now for a little bit. So I think there'll be almost 2 to 3 weeks off. I think.
Okay,
at this point.
Good. So I can come back, catch up, and see where everyone's at,
be
and
refreshed.
finish off the season. Yeah, man, this show it's really really good. I love I've noticed how like they've switched up how they told the stories between seasons 1 and 2. I'm not sure how they changed it up during 3. Season 1 was very much following, basically going race by race and maybe switching the team they cover each race. And where season 2 is more, let's follow a team over the course of the season and kind of tell their story over the course of the season, and featuring different races and not really repeating them. But they changed the structure of it, and I don't really know which one I like more. I kind of like them equally. They're both very fun. I almost prefer the first season just because I like being able to just kind of follow the track and progression of how the season goes overall. But then I also like being able to get more in-depth details of how a specific team's season went throughout the whole season. Because the first season, it was just race by race. You'd see a bit of a team story for maybe an episode or two, and then you'd maybe get a little bit more of that team story and like an update and a catch up as to what happened like a few episodes later, and that would be it. Whereas I got half of Haas's season in one episode, you get most of Ferrari's season in one episode. You get bigger looks at each team's bigger chunks of each team's racing season in these episodes. So talking it out like that just now, I've actually maybe like season 2 a little bit more, but they're both so good. It's just incredible, man. I can't put it down.
It's really good.
It's really, really good. It looks, we've said it before, but visually looks incredible. The way it's shot, as well as what they're shooting it with, just the fidelity of it is very, very good. And these drivers are just so compelling. Like these feel like characters in like a movie or a TV show, but I mean, it is a TV show, but this is like a documentary. It's a real life. But these characters and these teams, they feel so compelling, and I'm rooting for, I've said it last week, I'm rooting for everyone. You want everyone to win, and they do such a good job of making you like understand the background of where everyone came from, what everyone's racing for, and what's at stake too for each team. The storytelling there is really, really great. And I can't wait to finish this third season. I'm going to be a little disappointed that I won't have more to watch. But then again,
it's an easy show to come back to. Don't worry.
Yeah. But like I said, once I'm done with the third season, I can just kind of watch the live races and then eventually watch season 4 whenever that inevitably comes out. Favorite driver so far? Maybe Esteban Ocon. I mean, we only got that one taste of him in the first season. He's not really in the second season, and now he will come back in the third. I'm glad he got a driver spot back. I found it interesting that the team principal from Mercedes is also his manager.
Toto Wolff?
Yeah. I didn't know that was really legal, but okay. But I like Alex Albon a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of grit to him, and that people probably weren't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he's come in and done so well so quickly is really impressive. I'm starting to understand why Tyler likes Max Verstappen so much. I mean, he's starting to prove that why he's so dominant and why he's just the next best thing.
Fucking best.
Yeah. And I know, Tyler, you've already said that he's won like 5 races already in 2021, which is a lot. So, but I also like Lewis Hamilton as much as he's just the greatest right now. He's a cool guy to root for. I mean, he's got a lot of swagger. He's got a lot of personality to him. And I think it's funny that, in a rich white sport like that, that this black guy can just come in and just wreck shop. And I think it's awesome. And so that's a lot of fun. Team wise, I still wish Haas was better. I really want them to be good. I feel so much for their team principal. I forgot his name. Gunther. Yeah, he's so genuine. You can tell he cares so much, and it's just so frustrating to watch them like their cars just fail repeatedly.
Yeah.
Renault.
You have to go through the rich energy phase. Obviously.
Yeah, that was shocking too. That all in one episode, they were like, "Oh, cool, we got this bunch of extra cash. Let's put it in. Let's get to work." Oh, the sponsor's dropping out because we've lost like 6 races in a row.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of sucked, but it's just the nature of how it is. I'm interested to see. Is it 2020 was the first year where they had regulated spending, or was it the last year they had regulated?
Last year they have regulated.
Okay, so
spending.
2021 is when it's regulated.
Correct.
Okay, so I'll be interested to see once I catch up with the current season, the 2021 season, how that plays out, because that was something I had a question about. I was like, that seems wildly unfair that these like huge car companies can just spend millions and millions of dollars, and like teams like Williams Racing are just like trying to get by.
Yep.
So I'm glad that they finally implemented some kind of rule change like that. But this show, if you have not watched it, it's on Netflix. It will most likely make you a fan of Formula One immediately, like it did for me. I cannot get enough of this show, and it's
good stuff,
awesome, man. Yeah, it's really, really good.
It is really, really good.
Yeah. Man, I just want to keep talking about it, but I want to keep talking.
Tell us what else you watched. Come on.
That was it. That was really it. Dude, every chance I got. Go ahead, Ty.
I was just saying, I'll be very curious to see how this actually carries over. Like, if you actually end up
a Formula One fan,
dude, or maybe you just get into a couple races and you're just like, man, I just really like the TV show. I don't really care about
I think I'm down to watch Formula One races now.
Yeah.
I think I know. Man. Yeah, and I just in a sport like this where like I knew nothing about it, they do such a good job of like introducing newcomers to it.
Yeah, no, I sent Tyler a tweet today, or a link to a tweet today. JJ Watt tweeted today. He's like, a month ago I knew nothing about Formula One. Like now I've like have opinions about this different.
Yep.
This.
Exactly. Yeah, they do such a good job. I mean, then it's nice that it is also crazy to think there's only 20 people who drive in Formula One. That is insane.
It's cool that you can like keep track of all of them.
Yeah, you can keep track of all of them. It's easy to follow the storylines, whereas in like the NBA you have 35 teams and
well, even you think like a singular sport like golf or something like that. You're
or tennis even, like one I'm a fan of. Like you have all these drivers. There are 20. That's all you have to keep track of. 20 spots to keep track of 10 teams. Like it's not that hard to follow, and once you get into it, it's great to keep up with, and I'm loving this show. They do such a great job, and just their storytelling in the episode of like building up dramatic moments. And I keep wondering how they predict, like, I don't know how they're making the show. They must have a camera team with almost every team, because I find it hard to believe that they like time it perfectly with these beats where like they know who to follow for certain races on who wins or who's gonna place well, or the critical races for certain teams. I don't know. Maybe there's.
I'm not sure what their
I would be fascinated to find out. I also think it's odd that like everyone in Formula One kind of makes fun of them and doesn't like them for some reason. I don't know why that is. They seem to be bringing so much attention to the sport with this show. I'm not sure why everyone is so against them being around.
Well, they may just be around all the time.
I'm sure that's part of it. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not a Formula One driver whose invasion of privacy is maybe getting breached a little bit.
Sure.
But, still, I think that's this show is just really good. If you have not watched it, go watch it, please.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I tied to your question, I definitely plan on continuing to keep up with Formula One after this.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, another really quick last thing I'll say. Another driver I really like, Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, Leclerc's pretty cool.
For Ferrari.
Leclerc.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. That's the only thing I watched. Like I said, every chance I could, I was watching that this week. So I didn't really get to much else.
Cool.
Popcorn. What was Tyler's name? Twist Runner Ty? Twisted Runner
Metal
Ty.
Tyler.
Yep. There you go.
I got a pretty decent list, but it's mainly just movies. As far as TV shows, I've still been doing Breaking Bad with Leah, and I've been doing The Titans on HBO still by myself, which I'm still thoroughly enjoying.
You up to season 2 yet on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through season 2.
Better or worse than The Flash? I think I asked you this the other day.
You did, yeah. I think this holds my attention a little bit more, but that's just because I'm a much bigger fan of
the
Bat
Titans
family versus the Flash story.
Sure, makes sense.
But yeah, I guess that's just because that's how I grew up, and I watched a lot more of the Batman animated stuff. Because there's just a shit ton of it. But yeah, I mean, the Flash was really good when you and I were going through it when you first moved in, and then we just kind of stopped. And then there's a couple animated Flash things that I thoroughly like. I hate Ezra Miller Flash.
Yeah, he's not very good, is he?
But yeah, that's really kind of what I gotta say about that. As far as movies go, shout out Ryan Foley. I've been doing Leah and I have been. We did Twilight.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about those.
We also did Twilight New Moon.
It's the first 2.
Easily the worst.
Okay.
And we also did Twilight Eclipse.
So the first 3.
So we'll be looking to round out the series.
What's your history with Twilight? Have you seen those movies before?
I have, yeah. Okay. And Leah's read the books.
Gotcha.
And she's seen the movies.
Of course.
But she likes them, and they're tolerable for me. I actually don't mind them. Yes, there's very poor acting, and yes, it's very far from the books in most parts, but whatever.
Are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
I got a fucking wolf tattooed on my arm.
Okay. That answers that.
Which one is the wolf? Is
that's Jacob.
Taylor Lautner?
Yeah, it's Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner.
Okay.
And then I also did Tropic Thunder.
Oh, you did get to that.
Okay.
I did, yeah.
How is that? I haven't seen that in a while. That's funny, though.
Dude, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
That's good. It still holds up.
It still does hold up. It's absolutely ridiculous.
You and I watched that last year together, I want to say. Didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also did Talladega Nights.
Always a good one, too.
It is. And for whatever reason, we've been quoting those 2 movies at work quite a bit over the past week. And I just incoherently watched them as well. So I was like, whatever.
That'll work.
But yeah, those 2 are still really funny.
A couple.
I think Talladega Nights is one of the ones that some people
forget about.
Yeah, kind of like Semi-Pro.
Semi-Pro is hilarious too. Yeah.
Oh,
this was still good.
I watched that actually when I went down to Columbia. I forgot to put that on my what we're watching for last week. That was another movie that me and my girlfriend turned on at one point. It was the first time I watched it in a while. Funny. Still holds up. Talladega Nights. Sorry. Still holds up.
Still so good.
Excuse you.
And she's leaning over.
I didn't know you guys heard it.
It's a burp.
Who do we got left? Nathaniel?
That's me, yeah.
That's it for me, Nathaniel. Nuclear Numchuck Nathaniel, or whatever the fuck your name was.
That'd be pretty cool.
Nebula. Nathaniel.
Nebula.
Yeah, so I got to some stuff this week. Waz and I have been still working through Full Metal Alchemist and Community. Community, we're up to season 3 now, so still some of the good seasons. And then 4, it takes a dip, and then 5, it kind of works back. So still some fun times. What else did I get to? I started The Newsroom this week, the Aaron Sorkin show from a few years ago starring Jeff Daniels on HBO Max. You would really like that, Adam.
I've heard of it. I've heard good things.
Yeah, it like takes place in, I want to say the first season is like 2010, 2011 or whatever, and it's just working through, or you see the timeline of that year through the lens of these people working in the newsroom and kind of what their thing is. So you'll like, everyone will be having their personal issues and everything, and there all that tension going on, and then it's like huge news story from 2011. How did these people handle it? What was breaking it like? What was all that kind of going on?
And that it's based off of real news stories and everything?
Yeah, well, it takes place in the real world. So that they're all real news stories that happened during that year. But the network that they work for and everything is fictional and everything that's going on. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Really been enjoying it. Aaron Sorkin, people know, wrote The Social Network, wrote The West Wing. Pretty famous for writing white men well and having them walk and talk and have good dialogue. But it's still pretty fun. Really, really been an interesting watch for sure. I think I got 1 season left of that. So yeah, it's a pretty easy watch. I think it's only like 30 episodes. Mm-hmm. I got to a documentary, went on a little bit of a documentary kick this week.
Cool.
I got to one of my favorites. It's called Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Yeah, I've seen half of that actually.
I don't know how you were able to stop.
I fell asleep. This was a long time ago during I think maybe my buddy turned it on during this was like early high school, and we were having a sleepover or something like that.
Gotcha.
At my house, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah, so that's a film. If you haven't seen it, Exit Through the Gift Shop's a documentary by the graffiti artist Banksy, and it kind of centers around this guy who was at one point just filming all of these well-known street artists for his own fake documentary that he was making right at the time when street art was starting to be considered this really actual legitimate art form and everything. So it's like, if you haven't seen it, it's a trip. You got to watch it. It goes in all these kind of weird places than you not really expecting, and it's really got this weird kind of sense of humor around it too. It's just a really, really, really fun movie. So yeah, check that out. I watched Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh no.
It's not good, folks. It's
not a documentary.
No, it's not. Sorry. I'll get back to my documentary
You're good.
List in a little bit. Yeah, what a bummer. I have thoughts.
Give them to us. Non-spoiler, of course, but give them to us.
I'm sad
that it was so bad.
I'm sad and angry that it is just a soulless cash grab. Like, it's like,
is it really?
Take everything that you thought was going to be bad about it, and like, I know some people have not wanted to see this because they don't like LeBron or they don't think he's as good as Jordan,
right?
Or they're coming from this weird sense of nostalgia for the original Space Jam, which is not good either. It's just really weird, but it at least has some sort of heart into it. But it's like, the people that made this movie just did not give a flying fuck about the audience, like in any sort of way. Like, it is inexcusably bad. It's like, I think about the generations that are watching it now, like the young kids that are gonna see it, and like, I kind of like, I'm okay with it on that point, because like they're just gonna think it's fun and good, and like they're not gonna know it's bad for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
But everyone who sees it above the age of 6 is just going to want to just pull their own eyes out and like push them through the computer into HBO Max or something like.
Okay.
It's so bad. But yeah, go watch it. It's an experience, folks. It's like almost worth watching it with how atrocious it is. It's reached Cats level to me.
Really?
Yes.
That bad?
That bad.
Tough.
So backing up from that, I got to No Sudden Move, which is the new Steven Soderbergh movie. It's on HBO Max. which also stars Don Cheadle in a much, much better role.
Okay.
David Harbour's in that. Who else is there's some other folks in there. Kieran Culkin, Benicio del Toro. It's a really fun movie. It's very small. Soderbergh is kind of working almost, I think, off iPhones nowadays. Like, I don't know if he's shooting on much else.
Yeah.
It's just a really fun, weird, silly, indie Soderbergh movie. If you've seen anything of his stuff, Ocean's 11, Logan Lucky, Sex, Lies, and Videotape, all of that good stuff, you kind of know what you're in for there. But just a good time all around. So going back to my documentary kick that I was talking about earlier, I also got to one on Netflix called Made You Look, which is about this art forgery that happened in like the mid to late thousands, early to mid thousands, I should say. And it was all of these, modern expressionist movements. So like your Rothkos, your Jackson Pollocks, your or not modern expression, what I'm saying, modern abstract. And it was kind of this famous gallery that just had these on display and thought they had, discovered a treasure trove of all these kind of masters that were getting to be really, really expensive at the time, and was trying to sell it and stuff. It was okay as far as documentaries go. I would say it didn't quite grab me in the end, but it was definitely an interesting story. I want to say it's a story worthy of documentaries, but like the crew that made it and everything just didn't seem quite up to snuff.
Okay,
if you know what I mean.
Sure.
But the last one I got to was one called Action Park, or Class Action Park. That's on HBO Max as well. That is about this theme park in New Jersey.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, in the 80s, called Action Park, that was just basically run by people that didn't care. And like was just full of folks. It was known as Class Action Park because of how many people got hurt and sued the park for just dangerous rides and negligent behavior,
a lot of
and all sorts of crazy
get hurt.
Oh yeah,
and
people died.
People died. Yeah, I was about to say people died, didn't they?
But
wasn't there a movie about this? Wasn't like Johnny Knoxville like the main?
He made a fictional recreation of it, basically telling a fictionalized version of the story. This documentary is on HBO Max about the real thing. Oh, the other thing that I got to is I watched the Woodstock documentary, or Woodstock '99 documentary that just came out on Netflix or on HBO Max too. That's called. It's under the name Music Box, and I want to say it's like Woodstock '99, and there's a subtitle underneath it as well. But I didn't know. I remembered that, but I didn't know how crazy it got. It got really crazy.
Okay.
So yeah, that's definitely worth a watch as well. Of all the documentaries that I've talked about, watch Exit Through the Gift Shop and Class Action Park, and maybe the Woodstock one too. But
cool.
Yeah, that was what I watched for this week.
You also watched Snake Eyes.
I sure did.
Welcome, listeners, to the main review segment of the podcast, where we're going to go ahead and review Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. I try to get some enthusiasm into that, but I just couldn't. Nathaniel, if the viewer here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of our review segment here at Back Row Banter?
Well, Adam, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a rundown, and the way the rundown goes is like this. There's going to be two sections of this review segment. One's going to be a non-spoiler section. The other's going to be a spoiler section. You'll know when I say the spoiler section because I'll hit the button, and it'll sound something like that. And basically, it'll be marked out in the show notes as well. In the non-spoiler section, we break down the movie, give our initial thoughts, kind of talk about what year it came out, everything in the IMDb summary. In the spoiler section, we give our deeper thoughts. Any essential plot twists or developments that we can't talk about in the non-spoiler section. And then we're going to bring everyone back and see where it ranks on our Entropy list, which is our big old list of all the movies we've seen on the podcast ranked. Wow. Tongue-tied my way through that there. But Adam, tell us about G.I. Joe Origins, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins.
The original title was G.I. Joe, or Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. It's now just retitled to Snake Eyes, which I like better. I guess that's probably the only thing I like about this movie. We'll get to that. 2021, this is a new movie, of course, only in theaters, and I wish it was just like HBO Max or some kind of streaming service. I really didn't want to pay money to watch this, but here we are. PG-13, 2 hours in 1 minute, but man, you could have told me it was 4 hours. You could have told me it was 6. I really don't know. Director is Robert Schwentke, who is, I'm trying to see what he's done maybe before. He's got 14 directing credits. He's done the Divergent series Insurgent, which I believe is the second one. And then he did Allegiant, which I believe is the third one.
He did The Time Traveler's Wife.
The Time Traveler's Wife, and he did Red from 2010. I think that's pretty much all I recognize him from. Written by Evan Spilopatus. Sorry, wow, that was bad.
I think that's Spiliotopoulos.
Thank you. That was much better. And then Joe Shrapnel. Wow.
That's got to be a stage name, right? No one's named Joe Shrapnel.
And of course, he writes a G.I. Joe movie. Like I tried my best to come up with like names for you guys, but that's an actual G.I. Joe name. And then Anna Waterhouse, starring Henry Golding of Crazy Rich Asians fame. Have you guys seen that movie?
I have not. I've seen him in The Gentleman, though.
No, sir.
You've seen The Gentleman? Okay.
Nope.
Girlfriend is a big fan of that movie, so I, of course, have seen it. He's good in that. I like him. Was interested to see how he would step up to the action role, and we'll get to that, I guess, in a little bit. Also starring Andrew Koji, Haruka Abe, Takahiro Hira, and some more people, most of whom I don't recognize. Samara Weaving, and Peter Mensa, who I feel like I recognize from somewhere.
Yeah, he's in lots of things.
Okay, cool. I was about to say I definitely recognize him from something. So, yeah, and then your IMDb summary reads as follows. A G.I. Joe spin-off centered around the character of Snake Eyes.
That's got to be up there as, like, worst IMDb summaries.
Honestly, it's up there as the best IMDb summary. I need to know nothing else about this plot because it doesn't matter. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. This movie is bad. It's bad.
So that's your initial reaction is what you're saying?
It's not even good, bad. There's just nothing entertaining about this movie, I found. Like, I was trying to watch it. I was trying to cheer myself up and be like, oh, this is kind of fun. But every time I tried, they just introduced some new plot device, some new plot piece, some new bad writing came up that was just like, oh, why am I here?
Anyone else want to dive in on it? Tyler, you were the only one that didn't see it with us, so I want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I actually went and saw it this afternoon by my lonesome, which was nice. I haven't watched a movie by myself in a little bit, and I used to go pretty frequently. So this is definitely one, though, that I knew Leah was not interested in.
Zero interest.
Without even asking. So I was like, that's cool. I can definitely go see it by myself. But anyways, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's not a good movie, but I mean, it has some redeeming qualities. The action was very well choreographed. You do get some kind of decent acting from certain people, but other than that, it's all pretty downhill.
Yeah, I think I blame this on the director. I think that's what I've come down to at this point. I think and I'll tell you why. I think because, as Tyler pointed out, the action is choreographed well. It's just shot like a 4-year-old shot it.
Yeah.
Like this movie,
like the camera work is shoddy.
The camera work's
I don't know where the fuck
god
I'm
awful.
Sometimes.
I wanted to rip my eyeballs out.
Too.
I hated the camera work in this.
Yeah.
I've never seen a movie that's shot in 85% close up. I was begging for a mid shot by the middle of this. And by that I just mean like everything is just the actor's entire face at all time. It's great because we get to see them act and emote and everything, but it's 85% of this fucking movie. And then when there is these beautiful fight scenes that we have choreographed on there, and to be honest, there's about 2 or 3 times in the movies where like they have fighters run towards the screen, and like those moments I thought were great, but then they like the camera would just be shot literally on a GoPro. It felt like and not a good one that's got some sort of stabilization in it. Like a GoPro Hero 3 that's just on some guy's selfie stick and is just shoved in people's faces as they're doing these incredible martial arts activities around them. And everyone I've seen in this movie has acted better in somewhere else, which tells me that it's just this guy going, all right, I want you to do it this way, and him just thinking that it's good at this point.
I also think it's the writing. That's the biggest thing for me.
I don't even think it is.
No, I do not like the writing in this movie. And it's not even like super below average. It's honestly what I expected for a movie like this. But in order for me to enjoy this more than like the movie we're watching now, which is the original G.I. Joe movie, in order for me to enjoy it more than that, they have to know the writing has to be decent. And it didn't feel like they tried very much to make it markedly better than it should.
Is it the writing though, or is it the line reading and the line delivery?
I think it's partially both, but I fault more the writing than anything. I think the lines I didn't have too much. I definitely agree with you that some of the line delivery is like, okay, why did you say it like that, or why did you say it in that way? I don't know, but I definitely also just did not like what they were saying.
Okay,
I think it was really straightforward. I think there's the plot too is not always clear.
But you can do straightforward and not have clear plots. Like that's Fast and Furious.
Yes.
Like that's half of what those movies are. You know, like the two that we've talked about that's had this kind of resurgence in the past few years. Mm-hmm. It's got dumb writing. Yeah. But everyone's there and is believing in what they're saying on this. And for whatever reason, this guy chose shots where the line readings that I'm getting from these guys, they don't even feel like they're in the same movie with each other, let alone the same scenes with each other.
Okay, I can agree with that a lot. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I also think I just didn't like the lines that they were choosing.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think there could have been better directing as far as the dialogue and everything like that goes, but it all still comes down to what they're saying, and if I feel like the actors kind of believed more in what they were saying, they could have done a lot better job in that regard. So maybe it's just a combination of the two.
There's a specific moment I want to bring up after in spoilers.
In spoilers? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Blake, you are not a fan, correct? Blake, you might be muted.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Blake. I can see you can see you gesturing and talking, but I can't hear you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel bad if you were trying to cut in earlier. We did not mean to cut you off. We just have not.
Yeah, it got unplugged. So.
Oh, okay. So there you are. We got
Blake's just screaming at his mic for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, so kind of to dump in on that, I mean, I wasn't really a fan of G.I. Joe in the first place. I think we all kind of went in this with relatively low expectations. So I'll kind of leave it at that till we get into spoilers, though. But for starters, yeah, the cam is just way too fucking shaky, dude. Like, that's a bulk of this movie, and the action scenes are shot so close to each other, and they're cut so often. It almost
there was like 50 cuts in the first 2 minutes in this movie. I was just like, my eyes hurt.
So fast. Look good, but it's like I can't fucking tell because you just see like hand, foot, face injury. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. I was turned off of this movie after the first probably 25, 30 minutes, and I tried to give it a break or give it another shot. But then it just kept rolling downhill. There's a funny scene, which I think is what Nathaniel's hinting at in spoilers. Is that kind of I know we kind of talked about it
not specifically that one, but yeah, we can bring that one up there at a time too. Tyler, we've all been ragging on it. I want to hear kind of what you said you enjoyed bits of it as well too.
Yeah, really just the choreography. You could tell that they put a lot of work into making sure that everything was like a very good kung fu-esque style, and then you just, I mean, like we talked about, it's the camera work. I mean, from the very first fight scene where he's fighting that dude in the cage, which is so fucking stereotypical of where you find somebody. Like, go fucking find something else.
He's fucking Mortal Kombat, dude.
He's bound to do something else. But anyways, I mean, you literally get in the cage and it's just Shakesville. Like, I don't know where the fuck anybody is. I'm like looking at somebody's ball sack for a second, and then I'm like looking at the back of their head, and I'm like, I don't know where anybody is right now. And so yeah, we'll obviously get into that in a little bit more scenes, but yeah, I'm just, for me, it's just probably a not recommend. You could skip this.
There's a moment where I remember they they did like an extreme close-up, and they had the camera kind of off-canted to the side, and it reminded me of this. Adam, have you seen The Matrix yet?
The first one?
Yes.
Yes.
It reminded me of the scene in The Matrix where you get, which is like one of my favorite shots of the whole movie, where you get that smash cut of Trinity holding the gun up to the agent's head, and she says, "Dodge this," and it's from that extreme close-up angle on there. And I saw him do that, and I went, fuck, if it was just this the entire movie, and they went further into the stylized action of it, which it felt in scenes they were wanting to do.
Yeah.
And like was there for you. If it just became more of that, and like it was another one where like I remember it ended and I just went, holy shit, the credits are more exciting than the rest of this film. Like those credits were awesome.
They were kind of cool.
They were like had this crazy neon like background, and
they were like a mix of like 80s anime and then G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
somehow,
and like all
in
this
like Japan.
It's crazy stuff.
Japanese.
Just dipped out, real quick.
I was like, I don't think.
We dipped out by accident. I guess
you did.
Discord closed. We got to figure out why that happens. That's so weird. Where was the last time you guys heard us? Because I know the recording will get us. Ty and Blake.
Nathaniel was talking about this shot that's very similar to the first Matrix.
Okay.
The up close.
Yeah, and I just said if there was more things like that, if there was more of that kind of stylized edge to it, or they even like dipped more into like the Hong Kong action flicks of the 90s, or even more into like Kung Flu, God.
Kung Flu.
Thanks, Trump. Kung Fu movies from like, the 70s, 80s, it could have been more fun, but like
I agree with you on
this
that.
movie looked like it was made for $5 million at the most, and I looked it up and it cost 88, which is just inexcusable at this point.
Yeah.
When you think of like Deadpool being made for like 40.
Right.
All right.
I say we jump into, well, I guess we should go across.
Recommends.
Ty said not recommend.
Yeah,
I'm not recommending.
I'm not a recommend either. I think there are just so many better things to watch.
Yeah.
Even if you're like a big G.I. Joe fan, you might want to just save your sanity and appreciation for the original G.I. Joe stuff. And
Space Jam 2 in this had me questioning my like career choice.
all right. Nathaniel, you said not a recommend.
Not a recommend.
Ty, you said you're also not, right? I can't remember.
No, you can skip.
All right, cool. So that's a not a recommend across the board. Not very often does that happen.
Universally panned.
We're going to go ahead and get into spoilers here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have not seen Snake Eyes and do not want it spoiled for you for whatever reason, go ahead and check the episode description where I put a timestamp you can jump to where you'll be taken to our ranking upon the Entropy list.
Upon.
Spoilers. Oh, it was a little delayed. Very good. Oh, I didn't hear a noise. Oh, wait. There it is. Shit kind of goes down, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, this movie just fucking blows, dude. Like, I don't know how else to go about it. So kind of going in, just kind of give you guys where I thought it was going to be. I was like, okay, like, are we over or under Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, you turned to me and asked me that at the starting of
exactly.
Of the movie. Yeah.
Exactly. And I went in and I was like, I'm thinking it's probably going to be worse. And I feel like I was right. I think I would rather watch Mortal Kombat over this movie 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat had some fun stuff to it. It was watchable.
Yeah.
Had some good fight scenes. This has decent things to it. Just not a lot.
Mike and Blake turned to me and asked me that question before the movie started. And I said, I think it'll be like just above. And and when I was in there and what I was thinking was that because Mortal Kombat had so many CGI sets and everything, I thought this was going to be a little bit more in person and a little bit, maybe it feels a little bit more grounded. I didn't realize
3 sets. There were like 3.
I'm pretty sure they had one street that they just redressed like 4 times. Like that street, the street that looked like the like Tokyo apartment complex thing that they had where Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes are on top of the roof thing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that street is just featured like 4 times that they just redressed.
Yeah, the docks are the same.
Dude,
as the train.
I cannot fathom. This movie had to be like some sort of tax, like write-off or like money laundering or something. I don't know, man. Because there's no way this thing cost $88 million.
Is that how much it costs?
According to IMDb.
Wow.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible, bro. Like, Baroness is completely fucking useless. You don't fucking need her in this. Same thing with Scarlet. You could have brought her in at like the very last scene of the movie and like played that into the G.I. Joes. You don't fucking need her. And their dialogue is completely useless.
I don't know. Everything I've seen Samara Weaving in, she's like one of the best things about it in every single thing that I've ever seen her.
No, she's a good actor.
And somehow they make her
pointed that out there. She's in Ready or Not, right? I think that's kind of what caught my eye.
Definitely Ready or Not. Yeah. She's in Guns Akimbo too. Like she's played like, action movie roles before this. Somehow they turn her into a charisma trap in this. Like she's just completely flat from the moment she hits the movie. Like this movie breaks my brain.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, man. I don't even know where to go. I don't know.
Why the fuck is his name Tommy?
No idea. Because we're a white audience and they don't think that we can pronounce something Japanese, probably.
Yeah, right. So here's a question I had. I don't know if this was explained and maybe I missed it. Was he supposed to be like undercover in the other guy's Yakuza gang?
Yeah,
but how does he not recognize him if he's his cousin that grew up together?
He said that he was undercover there because he was like keeping tabs on him because he was in decide of his fate, and then they lost him, so then he went there to keep tabs on him. And this is what I was talking about before the spoiler break was there's a moment later in the movie where the Snake Eyes character who has betrayed the people, he's like a triple agent at that point.
Yeah, right, for sure.
And he just like he did something. I can't remember what it was. Like he either killed a character or something, and he just, like turned and the screen focused in on him because there was nothing else for it to do this entire fucking movie. And he just like had this look on his face, and I was just like, what are we supposed to be feeling with him right now? The movie doesn't even know.
The movie doesn't know.
The movie has no idea what side he's on. I don't know what side he's supposed to be on at this point.
I asked myself that multiple times. Is he turning to the good side? Right. Is he just
It's impossible to know.
You have no idea the whole time until he tells you.
It's just it makes me
And it actually goes really far away from what the original Snake Eyes story is.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that, Ty, a little bit? Because I have no idea what the original Snake Eyes stories is. So, like, can you break that down?
I forget what Tommy's like original name is supposed to be, but essentially in the other ones you see like a black ninja and a white ninja.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're very like one is good, one's bad, but essentially they're supposed to be like brothers. They grew up together. They were trained by the same master, and then essentially Tommy's character who plays like the white ninja or dressed in white, I forget what his fucking name is.
Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow, yeah.
Which odd delivery at the end. Call me Storm Shadow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where does that come from? Where you just thought of that just now, or was that like? I don't know.
You call me Dragon. You call me Nighthawk.
I would laugh out loud if someone said that to me.
So yeah. Anyways, Storm Shadow essentially kills their master, and then that's what makes Snake Eyes hate him so much, and then that's why they're constantly fighting with each other. So this just takes that and fucking just takes it off the rails completely.
It's not even in the movie.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
It gives you a little bit of a background, but then there's just like nothing here.
This movie almost got me back on board so many times too, where I was just like, oh, it's actually going to do something insane, or like it's going to make a statement with all of this weird repetition of close-ups or something, but it just never goes there. And I got dangerously close at the end when you had the one anaconda eating the who was the bad guy, or the
I don't remember his name.
Kenta, yeah, whoever's handcuffed to him, and then he's simultaneously being sucked further into the anaconda by virtue of just being still attached by handcuffs to the other guy.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh man, this is so close to being awesome, and then it just wasn't enough.
It wasn't, no.
And then the snake.
Those snakes were probably the best part of the movie for me, though. I thought that was cool.
Me and Nathaniel laughed at the scene where Snake Eyes has Kenta kind of chained up.
Yeah.
Well, so first before that, right? And he's like, strike with honor, right? It's like lose fear, whatever, strike with honor.
Yeah, lose ego.
And he does that, and then he wraps the chain around him. But then the scene of him jumping into the pit he has the chain, he's holding the chain, right? Then the other end of that is on Kenta's foot. then he just jumps into the pit, and it looks like a little kid like jumping off a fucking bed. Like the way it was edited.
All I thought.
It just looks so funny, man.
All I thought was the Old Spice commercial where he just goes, swan dive.
And it just looked so bad. And then
it was clearly
Kenta
just
catches himself like with one hand. I was like, you know how much fucking weight is falling from that far? It was insane. It was funny. So yeah, that made me laugh. There was another scene that me and Nathaniel both laughed at the same time where you first get introduced to Scarlett for the first time, where she's like in the airport or something, and then she answers.
Yeah, where is she, by the way? Is that ever answered?
No, who cares?
She has a suitcase.
It looks like it's an airport.
So it must be an airport. But who knows? Yeah, some terminal.
And she's talking to Tommy, like on like some FaceTime video call type thing. And when Tommy's face first pops up, it just looks like it's like a fucking still image.
It's a still image of like
it looks like a zombie.
Yeah, dude. I was like, in that one, I was like, I'm fucking.
It looks like she's got like Tinder open, and it's just like some guy. This is his first profile picture.
It's just insane. Yeah, he's doing the Stanley Kubrick like head forward, look up from under your eyebrows at someone, but then he's also
clench and but
then he's lit super harshly, like kid around the campfire, flashlight under the chin kind of thing.
It's wild.
So he just looks like some sort of demon that's just on her phone.
And it's the same still image pretty much for like 3 consecutive cuts back to the phone, just so we know, so we know he's still there watching this entire fight sequence happen from FaceTime. This movie's all over the place. The other thing I was thinking about, and I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts on this, but obviously the original title of this was G.I. Joe, or Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, and to me, I would have preferred. This doesn't really feel like an origin story for Snake Eyes, like. When he's in the cage, when doing the cage fighting, he's already going by Snake Eyes, and I just wish.
I want to see. Takes 6 minutes at the start of the
film. I want to see how he gets there. I want to see his dad is killed, and that's where I thought this was going. His dad was killed in the cabin, and we see him in the forest. He escapes. Where does he go from there? How does he get his training? How does he learn how to fight? I want that story.
It's just Batman Begins, isn't it?
Sure. But, give me something new to it. Maybe he goes and finds that.
No, I'm saying this film is Batman Begins.
Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been way more interesting if they did that as, like, these G.I. Joe movies, and you get a Snake Eyes one, then you get a Scarlet one, then you get, all these other characters, and then you build it to one where they're finally all together in a current timeline. He's already Snake Eyes 6 minutes into this movie. How is this an origin film? And obviously they changed that title, so I can't be too mad about that. But like, this doesn't feel like an origin to me. I would have rather them built that character and do something cool with it. Give me Tyler talked about his origin story earlier, but like, give me more. Give me maybe we see him as a kid. He goes, finds that sensei, and finds, maybe they make the same character named Tommy. He finds Tommy. They train together. And then Tommy ends up killing him. Give me that story and more in depth, because in this movie that we have on now, which is the 2009 G.I. Joe, that's a flashback, and I don't know how in depth they go in the original G.I. Joe stuff. Give me that story. I would be so much more interested to see who Snake Eyes is, and then do that maybe for Scarlet, do that for Tommy, do that for all these characters, and then bring them together for a movie like that. I think that would be way more interesting. If they're looking to reboot the series in a meaningful way, do something like that. Don't play it safe where you have all these characters. Don't throw Scarlet in there just for the sake of having a Scarlet in there. Like, there's things that they can do with these movies to make them modern and fun and unique. And this just felt like they regressed to the mean and did what everyone kind of expected them to do, which was just kind of push everybody from the G.I. Joe IP into one movie and just call it a Snake Eyes movie, even though it isn't just Snake Eyes. I wish if they would have stayed true to the origin sense of that.
Yeah, it's as we just all kind of discussed. I mean, this movie's everywhere. I had a hard time even just kind of trying to attentively be alert on this thing. And it wasn't even that late of a movie, but I was just like, this is just so boring. It's not captivating. Nothing has my attention. And even just from the beginning, I mean, there's so many questions I had where, to Nathaniel's point earlier, the beginning where there's scenes of kind of like the ninjas, like where there's like masses of them coming in, right? That stuff's super cool. That's like very anime-ish, right? So I think that stuff that's very appealing to probably all of us here. Ty probably loves that stuff. And then there's the scene where they're trying to reverse the truck, and all the swords kind of go through. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
I liked it. Right, and then he gets stabbed in the arm, but then it's like the next scene, like there's not even any reference of him having like an injury in his arm. It was
I completely forgot about that.
Exactly. It makes no sense. And you see him like look at his arm like when it first happens, and then it's like it's gone. It's never there again. So I don't know, man. This movie was fucking tough. I'll never watch it again for sure.
You guys think they make another G.I. Joe movie or another origin movie? Dude. I mean, they set it up for a sequel, of course, but like
they definitely will.
I found it pretty crazy that they could make Takehiro Hara look so much like Ken Watanabe.
Yeah,
I was like, is that Ken Watanabe? Right. Is it not him? I was having such a hard time. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Mm-hmm. They just shaved that dude's head and was like, you're Ken Watanabe for this movie. It's like, okay, cool.
All right. Do we have any closing thoughts here on Snake Eyes?
Don't go see this movie.
I mean, if they're in spoilers, there's a good chance they already have, but
I'm sorry for seeing this.
Yeah, movie. I'm sorry for recommending this. You guys go see this. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You know, you got to give these a shot sometimes. I was really hoping this would be good. Like I said, I really hoped that they gave us like an actual origin story, and it just didn't feel like that. Like when I was like taking him back when he was in the cage match and they called him Snake Eyes, I was like, how is he just has that name now? I was under the impression we were going to see how he gets that name, how he gets that training and stuff, and then he's already a skilled killer. So
right. All I got out of that opening scene where he's starting cage match, it was just so similar to just Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
I was like, he's gonna finish the fucking fight. Someone's gonna approach him with some type of situation of like, hey, if you can do this, I can help you. And the same shit happened.
It's honestly very it's too similar to Mortal Kombat.
Right.
For sure.
I caught that whole thing. So yeah. Unfortunately, I wasted 2 hours watching this. That's the only unfortunate thing. If this was like an hour 40, I probably wouldn't care as bad. But we were like an hour 10 in, and I like looked at that's how I know it was bad. I looked at my phone to see like how much time I had left to fucking sit here.
Yeah.
And it was only like an hour and some change in, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna make it.
I know there was so much more after that. All right. I think that's it for the spoiler talk here. So welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoilers. We're going to go ahead and rank Snake Eyes up upon the Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. If you'd like to, or sorry, I skipped over that part. It's essentially our rating system. So rather than 5 stars or out of 10, whatever it is, we're going to throw up all these movies together and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to view the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
Top half or bottom half?
Well, I think the obvious way to start is looking at Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Or sorry, not wow. Mortal Kombat. Went off.
Oh, yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I'll let it rip and just kind of talk aloud of my thought process.
Sure.
Definitely below Mortal Kombat. Definitely below Godzilla vs. Kong. Definitely below Godzilla King of Monsters. Definitely below Trick or Treat. Definitely below Wonder Woman.
Which one? The first one or the second one?
The first one.
Okay.
The second one is questionable, but where that's at on the list, it kind of makes it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But then I see like the third Conjuring, and I see the King of Staten Island, and I'm like, it's not better than those. So I don't know, dude. I'm going 60.
Bro, I'm right there with you.
Case closed.
Yeah, I'm going 60 as well, under the purge above the first Justice League 2017.
Yeah, just because Justice League is horrible.
Yeah. I liked American Pickle. I'll let the record show I liked American Pickle more than this, but I'm sure Blake will disagree.
Yeah, I think like my purgatory sentence would be watching American Pickle on infinite loop.
Okay. Ty, where are you at here?
Yeah, I'm pretty cool with that. I guess I would. Yeah, I don't really see a need to put it above the purge.
Okay. Nathaniel,
60 for me.
Are we all in agreement here?
Yeah.
Is that the first like unanimous decision since like the first 10 episodes where like we only had 10 movies?
True.
It comes along rarely, but it does happen.
Yeah. here we are. All right, well, we are all unanimous in that Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins is pretty bad, and so it is plopped there at number 60, below The Purge, above Justice League 2017, and above An American Pickle, though these are the only two movies below it. Let's hope that our next week's episode is somewhere way above that. We're watching The Green Knight next week, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be one that I'm rather excited for. I can read the episode or the movie description here for you if you're not familiar, because I don't know how many people are. I haven't seen a lot of advertising or anything for this very much. But the IMDb summary reads as follows: a fantasy retelling of the medieval story of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Gawain. I'm sorry. Gawain. I'm excited for this, though. Looks kind of fun and interesting. So we'll have to see where this goes.
A24.
A24. Yes.
Dev Patel.
Yes. I'm sold on it being A24. I remember we did the trailer on this one probably a few months back. But yeah, dude, the cast is awesome. If you've seen a ton of A24 movies, most of that cast is in there. There's some people from The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Ralph Ineson.
From The Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll be pretty good, man.
I
certainly should be better than this bullshit we just watched.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's much worse. I'm taking a look here. It doesn't look like it's streaming anywhere.
No, it's going to be theaters only.
So straight to theaters only, which I am all down for. Let's get back into the swing of things, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, go watch Green Knight. I believe that comes out this Friday?
Yeah, July 30th.
July 30th, yep. So go watch it this weekend, and then join us for our review next week. Nathaniel, do we have a 5-star review?
Well, I tell you, I'm looking that up right now as we speak.
Tyler Phil in Not About Donuts.
No, Tyler's already done enough filling.
But I really like donuts.
Me too, honestly.
We are still waiting on our new 5-star review.
All right. Well, let the listener know what they get if they leave a 5-star review.
Well, they're going to let Blake finish his thought because I interrupted him there. What were you
Oh,
gonna say,
yeah, I
Blake?
was just going to fill for you. What was I going to say? I learned recently that the gene that makes jaguars or leopards black, I learned that it's actually recessive in leopards, and I believe it's the dominant gene in jaguars. So I found that out the other day as well.
Another big cat Blake break. 2 in 1
And that
episodes.
same gene can also be found in squirrels, because that's why you can see squirrels that are black.
I once saw a black squirrel with a brown tail. True story.
Yeah. I don't know. That guy's he's built different, as the internet would say.
I guess so. Biracial squirrel. Who would have thought? Nathaniel,
you had a roll today, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That was funny.
Nathaniel, what do they get if they leave a 5-star review?
If you get to leave us a 5-star review, I will read it out on the podcast, and you will be able to hear me read it out to you. And I'll say your name and everything. Well, at least whatever name you put in the app.
Yeah. Give us a 5-star review, man. It's been a long time. I feel like we haven't.
It's been since May.
Since May, yeah. And before that, it was like 3 months or something like that.
It's true.
So I know we get a decent amount of viewers here, and I know the number of 5-star reviews that we have is not equal to that number. So if you're listening and you haven't given us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts yet, why not?
Why not?
Why not? You obviously are listening, and you probably enjoy it, I would hope. And if you don't enjoy it, you can let us know why by giving us a 5-star review.
Boom.
Also, if you want to support the podcast, you can do so by following us on Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod. On YouTube, it's just Back Row Banter. Go subscribe to us there, even if it's not your primary place of listening. It's a free subscription. You help us out. We're trying to get to 100 subs so we can get our URL to just Back Row Banter rather than a random scramble of numbers, letters, and characters, whatever it ends up being. And then our email for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of the sort that you'd like us to know, send it our way to backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I've been faithfully on there logging stuff still, so logged what I got this week. Once I get something I really like, I'm definitely going to try to put down some thoughts on that, so we'll see what that comes out to be. I have a feeling it may not be The Green Knight. It damn sure will not be Snake Eyes, I can promise you that. And that's about it on that. So Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. We'll popcorn over to, we'll go to Ty.
Hey guys, I'm on Twitch every now and then. that's twitch.tv/El Trabajo. We're hopefully going to see if we can get Nathaniel set up relatively soon, and we'll kind of go from there. So that's ELTRABAJO87, and the rest is Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter. That is Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES. Nathaniel.
What up, folks? You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd @Innaskingrick. I log all my stuff on there that I'm watching. I do not rate it, though. I don't know why. I just never have. But yeah, if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, you can. You can follow me on Twitter, too. I think I'm even on there less than I am on Letterboxd. But anyways, you can also get me on Instagram @NathanielG92. Check out my other podcast, Sandpiper Tapes. Actually, today I put the episode order together for what I want to do with season 2 of that. So keep an eye out for what's coming up with that soon. Yeah, it should be fun.
Bit of
we'll
sizzle.
see how it goes. Bit of sizzle. But yeah. Adam, why don't you bring us on home here, bro?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter @H24, on Letterboxd @H, and I don't even know if I should really plug my Twitch anymore. I don't know when I'll start streaming again, or if I just have no time. And honestly, I just haven't been playing much. There's not a lot that I really wanted to play, and so I've just been watching things instead, and don't even have that much time to watch things.
We'll get you that Formula One simulator, and you'll get real happy and start streaming out of there.
I've been thinking about it, man. I already have the 2019 F1 game downloaded, so maybe I just start my career and I start working my way up. I'll get in the go-kart and I'll dominate some 13-year-olds. And
no, I'm just on Twitch.
Just on Twitch? Oh, you don't think I can? You don't think I can get there?
No, I just want you to just do it on Twitch.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what I'll start doing. Maybe I'll become an F1 Twitch streamer.
There you go.
There's probably a niche right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right.
You can expand that market.
There you go. Stay tuned for that, listeners, and join us next week for The Green Knight. We'll be RB.
I'm really excited for The Green Knight, by the way. I don't know if I said that earlier, but hey, everyone, you should be excited too, and be excellent to each other. We'll be RB.
Thanks for coming by. Appreciate all the support. Per usual, every week we like to see you guys coming back, so we definitely appreciate that. Like, comment, subscribe on whatever you can. YouTube, Instagram, I don't know, one of our Instagram pages, our Letterboxd, whatever it is, go find it, like it, support it. We appreciate it. But yeah, appreciate you stopping by, and have a great night, and we'll BRB.
Yeah, appreciate the support as always. Thanks for listening. Everybody stay positive and kind of keep pushing here. And hopefully everybody continues to have a great week and keep striving forward. We'll BRB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
So right after I watched that last Duel trailer, my next recommended video on YouTube is
Dune?
Tenet, a misunderstood masterpiece by Nolan.
Oh, that's
All right.
Published 6 days ago.
Yeah, that should be from Ben from Canada.
It is. How did you know that?
He's
Are you sub to him?
Well, he's like a spin-off of some of the guys that I listen to, so I bet it's just seeing that like we have interactive people and
right, because I got a ton of movie people on YouTube too. So interesting.
The algorithm's getting us.
I'm telling you, man. Not gonna say it's a matrix, but
Yo, I was watching Tim's stream today, and he said life is a simulation.
How do you feel? How do you feel, Nathaniel?
I think we are becoming more and more a part of the internet, and the internet is a simulation, and we're spending so much time there that we're just considering that life, and then that's why, because everything's so connected, you can see a connection with everything, and so we just assume that life is a simulation, where really life is very much organic.
There's got to be some purpose, right?
if life was a simulation, how do you think it'd be played out?
What do you mean?
It would just be like ultimate, like just hell, like every day, or would it be like a utopia, where like
I'm confused.
nothing
What's
goes
your
wrong
question
ever?
here? If
So
we
it's like
are
if
if
life
we are a
was a
simulation, okay.
Did I watch
Right.
that?
How do you think it would be? Like, how do you think it would play out? Do you think life would be like?
You mean
how does this
end?
It would just be shitty every day and nothing would ever go right, and the world's a terrible place. It kind of is. Or do you think it'd be like a utopia where like there's nothing ever wrong, there's no violence, everyone's good Samaritans, everyone's good people, there's universal health care, right?
Well, the thing is,
poverty,
even if it's a simulation, yeah, I guess Blake, you're bringing up a good point. Like, even if it is a simulation, we will never know. So then it might as well not be.
Yeah. Right. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Because even then, we don't know what type of simulation we're in. Maybe we could be in the good simulation. We could be in the bad simulation.
Right.
Yeah. My thing is, if we are in a simulation, there's got to be some kind of purpose for it, right? And that's where I have always been like, what the fuck? Kind of, what would be the purpose of a simulation like this? Maybe there is none. I don't know. Maybe it's just a Sims. Someone's playing Sims. There's so much to unpack on that one. That's gonna have to be like a double ep 1 week.
Yeah. When you said or when you had that statement about giving somebody a purpose, I immediately thought of Snake Eyes. He said, I can't give you I can't give you a name or a past.
Or
but I can give you a purpose.
I can give you a purpose. Whatever that means, guy.